So begin just by sitting comfortably on your mat and arriving at this moment in time. Closing the eyes if that's comfortable for you. Feeling the base of your body or whatever parts of the body are on the floor. Feeling the support of the ground below you. Notice how you're breathing. And then just taking a nice long, deep, slow inhalation through the nose. And breathing out through the mouth with a small little aperture. As if you're going to send out a long golden thread across whatever room you're in, out through the window. And allow that breath just to extend out for a little while. And then when you're ready to take another in-breath, do that. Breathing in all the way down to the belly of your pelvis. And then allowing the breath to go out through a small aperture between the lips. As if you're sending out or weaving a golden thread of light. And again, when you're ready, 3 more breaths like that. Breathing in all the way down to your toes or to the bottom of your pelvis, whatever imagery helps. Forming a small aperture between your lips. And just allowing that breath to meander out for as far as it can go. And one more time like that. And then just setting your intention that for the next little while, about 30 minutes, we'll be here to practice some asana and yoga. So beginning by rotating the wrists, both of the wrists, being aware of the movement in both of the wrists. Maybe there's a difference from left to right side. Then rotating the opposite direction. And then extending the fingers out as far as you can, and then making a fist, extending them out, making a fist, extending them out, making a fist, and sometimes putting the thumb inside the fingers and sometimes outside. And breathing in for half of the movement and out for half of the movement. And maybe a few more wrists. And then begin to roll the shoulders up to the ears, back and down. As you breathe in, rolling them up, back and down. Breathing in, forward, up. When you're ready to breathe out, back and down. And then changing the directions, going back, up, forward and down. Back, up, forward and down. And one more time like that. And then begin by pushing your hands away. So the fingers are up and you're pushing the hands away. And then as you breathe in, you form a kind of a claw with your hands. Bring the elbows back alongside the rib cage. Let the fingers fall back. As you breathe out, pushing the hands away. You can alternate it with a breath in, breath out. It doesn't really, just so that half of the movement is a breath in or a breath out as you go forward. Curl the fingers as if you're pulling a rope, if you can imagine. Bring the elbows back alongside the chest to let the fingers fall back to extend the chest, a bit more stretch through the fingers. And again. And then letting this hands rest for a moment. And then we're just going to allow the chin to fall toward the chest. And allow your head to roll over to bring your right ear to your right shoulder, back to center. Roll over to bring your left ear back to center, to the right, back to center. A few times I've been really aware of what this movement is like for the back of your neck, sides of your neck. And then when you settle this time into the center of the chin toward the chest, getting the feeling of the stretch at the back of the neck, how that extends down through your shoulder blades, how it affects the whole of your back. And then as you breathe in, lifting the head, looking up to the ceiling. If you're more comfortable in a seat, different seated position, change. Come back to center, down, back to center. Aware of the stretch at the front of the neck. So you're not throwing the head back, it's just you're looking up slightly, and then you're allowing your right ear to fall to the right. So it's going a slightly different way to the, and then to the left. And then to the right. And then to the left. And then from there, we're going to do one last one where you're with your hands. We're going to wake up the hands. You can come up onto your knees or sit in a different sitting position, whatever way you can seek to change it. And then we're just going to pump the fingers. So you're waking up the lower arms, getting a nice feeling for them. Pumping them, being aware of the movement in the lower arms as you do this. Notice if one hand tires more than the other, let them swing them back and forth a few times. And again, pump. And then one last thing, we're going to roll the fingers out, bring the hands back, the chest lifts, looking up. As you breathe out, allow the thumbs to roll in the way, allow your head to hang. Breathing in, rolling the palms out, fingers come up, chest lifts, you look up. As you breathe out, you roll the fingers in the way, you round the back of the spine, draw the navel in. Breathing in, palms come out, fingers up, look up. And one more time like that, breathing in. Chest lifting, it's like you're opening your heart to the world. And then as you breathe out, it's like you're drawing in everything you need to draw in. Closing the eyes, dropping the head. And then coming back to center. And then lowering the arms. And coming down onto an all fours position. Placing your hands underneath your shoulder, shoulder width apart. Your knees underneath your hips, shoulder width apart. And from there we're just going to go into lovely big hip circles. Bringing your awareness to your tailbone, bringing your tailbone down towards your left heel. And then swinging it around to the right and coming back up onto all fours. And we're going to do that a few more times on this side as you breathe out. And you can use half of the circle as an inhalation, half of the circle as an exhalation. And then we're going to go to the other side as you go swinging around, getting a lovely, you feel the extension on one side of the body. And that side on the, as you bring your, and just being aware of how it feels side to side as you go like that. And be aware, if it's not nice for you to go right back and flex your knees so deeply, to make the circles a little smaller, walk the hands forward a bit, that's another option. And then from there we're just going to go into a cat position. So beginning with your awareness on your tailbone, tilt the front of your hips forward as your tail goes up. The belly comes down a little bit, chest comes forward, and the gaze is up and you're looking forward. As you breathe out, you curl the tail under, you dome the back of the spine up to the ceiling, you draw the navel up and you allow your neck and head to hang. And look maybe toward the navel. Breathing in, tilting the pelvis, belly comes down. So you're not so worried about the mechanics of it, but getting that lovely sense of moving from the tailbone all the way up the length of your spine, so that you're moving it in one direction and you're moving it in the other. And you're never trying to get to the maximum point in any particular point. It's like all parts of your back are working in an equal kind of fashion. So it's like your tailbone, sacrum, lumbar spine, thoracic spine, cervical spine, and then going back to the tailbone, curl it under. Thoracics are the lumbar spine, thoracic spine, cervical spine arched in the other direction. No point feels overly extended or flexed. And a couple of more times like that. Okay, and then we might want to come up onto the knees and give your wrists a little rest. So we're going to change the cat now into slightly what's one called a high cat. So we're going to start with fists. So when you have your weight in your fists, you have it on the thumb and the fourth, that part there, the long finger, forefinger knuckles, rather than rolling that way. So you want to have your a nice stacking between your lower arm and your fist, so it doesn't kind of go like that, it's like that if possible. So you have your fists like a gorilla hands underneath your shoulder width apart, and your knees are staying. So you might have to move forward and back at first to get a feeling of where is comfortable for you to begin with. And then you begin again with that same movement as before, where you tilt the pelvis down, chest comes forward and the gaze is forward. And then as you breathe out, you curl the tail under, you dome the back of the spine up to the ceiling, you come all the way up so that you lean back slightly and your fingers will come up and your neck and head will hang completely. And then as you breathe in, you bring the hands back to where they were, you tilt the pelvis forward, chest forward, gaze forward. As you breathe out, you curl the tail under, bring the back of the spine, really getting into the thoracic region, and then allowing the neck and head to hang. And you'll feel the effort in the upper legs. Breathing in, tilting the pelvis, chest forward, gaze forward. As you breathe out, curl the tail under, dome the back of the spine up to the ceiling, allowing the neck and head to hang. And then again. Breathing in, tilting the pelvis forward, chest comes forward, the gaze is forward. And then as you breathe out, curling the tail under, doming the back of the spine up to the ceiling, allowing the neck and head to hang. And this time when you come up, if it's comfortable for you, hold it a little bit and just allow the hands to crisscross in front of one another, alternating which is one is behind and which one is in front. Let the head hang completely. So you really feel a stretch at the back there where your shoulder blades are in this position. And then maybe forward and back a few times as well. Or do little circles with them, and circles the other way, and the head is hanging. And then come back down onto all fours. Okay, so at this position, if it's difficult for you to be up on all fours all the time, you can always be here onto your forearms and link the fingers, but not in a prayer position so much as kind of having a nice arch made with your fingers. I'm going to go from here, so we're going to go from all fours position, cat position. And then as you breathe in, tilt the pelvis forward, looking forward again, just like the beginning of the cat. As you breathe out, you curl the tail under, dome the back of the spine to the ceiling. When you get to there, you curl the toes under as well. Bring the knee up, let the neck and head hang, and you're into the dog. So we're going into the dog slightly differently. We're going in with a nice rounded spine, then coming back down. And when you come down, you tilt the pelvis forward. Gaze is forward, looking forward. As you breathe out, curl the tail under first, curl the toes under, lift the knees, bring the knees or tailbone up to the ceiling, allowing the neck and head to hang. Spreading through the toes, nice length. Breathing in, you bring the knees down, tilting the pelvis forward, looking forward. You can uncurl the toes if you like. And then as you breathe out, you tilt the pelvis under. Your toes can go under at the same time. Then lift the knees, get that feeling of lifting the knees up. Bring the tail up to the ceiling then, and allowing the neck and head to hang. And breathe in here for a couple of breaths in your dog. And you can move a little bit while you're in it. If you can bring one heel to the ground and then bring the other one, just so you get a lovely stretch. And notice how, as you maybe wiggle from side to side, how you feel the extension on the left side, on the right side, on the sides of the body. And then when you're comfortable there for a moment, as you breathe in, bring your right leg up to the ceiling. And as you breathe out, lower that one. And then as you breathe in, bring your left up to the ceiling. As you breathe out, lower that one. Breathing in right up. And down. Left up. And down. And then coming back down onto the knees, uncurling the toes. Coming up if you need to, and just rotating the wrists. Giving them a little rest. And then going the other way. And then we're going back onto all fours and do a little variation. So as you breathe in now, you're going to lift your right leg, bring the knee out to the side and just touch it off the elbow or bring it in that direction. Breathing it back. And we're going to go to the other side. So you lift the left, bring it up toward the left elbow and bring it back. Left or shoulder, whichever is comfortable. Breathing in, lifting the leg out a little bit and forward and down. Lifting the left, forward and down. So you can continue like that for a few moments, or you can take it up where you come back up into the dog, tilting the pelvis under, lifting the knees, going right up into the dog, breathing, establishing yourself there, making yourself nice and comfortable in it. And then as you breathe in, bring your right knee towards your right elbow, place that one down or shoulder, bring the left knee out, bring it toward the elbow, bring it back. So continue in the table position like this, or maybe do a few rounds here, and then a few rounds on the table. See how you get on. But it's lovely, and get that sense that you're strong in it. You could even be just taking your time, and then bringing the knees down. And if it's comfortable for you, either walk the hands, bring the sit bones back to the heels, or you can walk the hands forward and just be like that. That's an alternative if you don't like to flex your knees back. But if you can bring in the sit bones back, and you can wiggle into this a little bit as well, so that you're again aware of the sense of length on the left side of the body from the pinky. So your fingers are working. You know, your elbows are off the ground, and you have that sense that you're stretching that a little bit further, or maybe that you're stretching the mat. So you're stretching the mat forward away from you. The ears are in between the forearms, and the sit bones are extending back the way. So you really feel a sense of connection between the abdomen and the thighs, length in the back of the body, and the sides of the body. And just breathe here for a few moments. Allowing yourself just to settle into it a little bit. Now obviously if it's sore for your arms and shoulders to be like that, you can have the hands back like this, or you can rest the foreheads on the ground and go into a balasana, child pose. And then come from there to push the hands, push up from the knees. And we're going to go from there to bring the legs out in front. Begin with, and we're going to go from there to lie down onto the belly in for some back bends in Savasana. So coming down, if you need to have a support under your hips, definitely do. Come down onto your belly, lie down, extend the legs back. So first of all, just resting maybe at the beginning, just getting that sense of sphinx, and you extend the legs back, and you might have to wiggle a little bit into it to get comfortable. And then if you can bring the hands back so that they're alongside the body, and rest the forehead on the ground and extend, even lift those legs and extend them a little bit again, getting that sense of extension at the front of your hips. And then as you breathe in, you're lifting your right leg off the mat, keeping the front of the hip on the mat. As you breathe out, you're lowering. When you're ready for next breath, lift the left and lowering. Breathing in, lift both and lowering. And again, breath in, lift the right. Lower when you're ready to breathe out. Left. And lowering when you're ready to breathe out. Both legs. And lowering. Legs are on the ground now, extending back with that sense of activity. And can you lift your chest, your arms? Your head will come up as well. You're leading with the chest, and then as you breathe out, you're lowering. Breathing in, lift the chest, the arms, the head comes up as well. And then as you breathe out, you're lowering. So you're trying to lift from the chest first, but you have that sense of stability, like a spring from your feet all the way up. So you're extending through the toes, and then as you're breathing out, lowering down. And then take a moment there, you can rest one cheek on the floor. Breathe right down into the belly or the chest, wherever's comfortable for you. Just let the breath come and go. And in a moment we're going to be lifting all of the limbs and lowering, and we're going to do that a few times. And you can coordinate with the breath. So bring the head back to center. As you breathe in, lifting all of your limbs, lift your chest, lift your head. As you breathe out, lower down. Breathing in, lift your chest, lift your head, lift your legs. As you breathe out, lowering down. And again, no feeling of tension or over compression in the spine. Breathing in, so it's the whole body lifting, whole body lowering. Whole body lifting, whole body lowering. The next time we come up, we're going to hold it for a few breaths. So as you breathe in, and you're really good, it's like you're going to meditate on the whole of the back of the body to make sure that each part is doing a little bit rather than any part doing too much. So you should feel no pain in the back. Effort, but no pain. Breathing in, lifting. And then breathing in the posture. Scanning the back of the body as you're here. Being aware of how it feels. Being aware of the inward rotation in the thighs. Extending through the toes, extending through the fingers. The neck isn't strained. And then slowly lower down and turn the cheek. Whichever cheek you had turned to the side, turn the other one. Turn your big toes in toward each other. And breathe right down into that lovely back that's done all of this work, the back of the body. And then come from there and place the hands just underneath the shoulders with the fingertips in line with the shoulders. So very like what we did earlier. With the elbows in beside the rib cage, your feet are extended back. Toes can be a little bit apart, or feet are a little bit apart, or together, whichever suits you. And then as you breathe in, it's like from your toes all the way up, the front of the body is stretching. And as it does so, the chest lifts and the elbows stay alongside the rib cage and the hands are there supporting you. It's not a very high lift. And then as you breathe out, you lower down. So starting with the awareness in the toes, working your way up to the backs of the legs, all the way up to the back of the body. Lifting the chest as you breathe in. And then as you breathe out, lowering down. And again, there's no pain. You don't work through pain. And then this time we're coming up, breathing in. And breathing in the posture. For some people you might like to come a bit higher. Keep the elbows a little bit bent is often a good idea. And the gaze is forward. Be aware of the difference from left side to right side. Coming down a bit if it doesn't feel so comfortable for you. And then coming all the way back down. And releasing the arms down alongside the body. Turn your cheek to whichever side. Alternating side to side. Turn the big toes in toward each other. Allow the heels out to the side and breathe. And then from there, coming up, pushing the hands into the ground, come up to stand, or up to all fours. And once again, coming to bring the sit bones back to the heels. Or walk the hands forward if you find the flexion in your knees difficult. Just keep the knees above the hips and go forward. And then come back up to table. So the alternative, you can go back like that again, or the alternative would be to walk the hands out and just get that feeling of length on the right side and the left side. And curl the tail ever so slightly under. Okay, or the alternative is just go back to whatever is comfortable for you as you breathe out. And then breathing in, coming forward. And then we're going to come from there to lie down onto your backs. Alright, lying right down. Bring the knees in over the tummy. And rocking from side to side. Place the soles of the feet onto the ground. Bring the arms a little bit away from the body with the palms up. And then as you breathe out, allow the knees to fall to the right. Neck and head can turn in the opposite direction. And come back to center, and then we'll go over to the left. The knees, the neck and head faces the opposite direction. And just go as far as is comfortable for you. Knees back to center. To the right. Breathing in, come back to center, to the left. And then the last time we're going to stay in it for a few breaths as you allow the knees to fall to the right, turn the neck and head to the left, and settle into the posture. So while you're here, you're scanning from the top of your head all the way down, being aware of what happens in each part of your body. Is there any part that's not letting go? Is there any effort that isn't necessary at this moment in time? Can you invite more release without pushing for it? And And come back to center, and then we're going to the other side. And the process of examination and curiosity begins again as you scan the top of the head, from the top of the head all the way down. Being aware of, again, any tension, holding, effort that's not needed, inviting it to release. Maybe if it's time, if you invite it to. Being aware of the deep pelvis, rib cage, even the neck and the head and the jaw and the expression. And breathing in, coming back to center. And extend out through both legs. Bring the arms in alongside the body, the palms facing up, slightly in. And if it's not comfortable for you to lie like this, you can always have your knees raised on a bolster or up on a bed or something. And for some people, they much prefer to have the hands just resting on the abdomen. And if you can do that with the elbows resting on the ground, that's even nicer. And just spend a few moments here scanning the body. From the top of the head all the way down to the toes. Tuning into the expression on your face, any tension, inviting it to release. The right shoulder, collarbone, the left shoulder and collarbone. The right arm, elbow, left arm, elbow, all the fingers on the right side, fingers on the left. The rib cage, the abdomen, the right side of the abdomen, the left side, the right hip, the left hip, the lower back, the bottom of the pelvis, the right hip joint, the left hip joint, all of the right leg, all of the left leg, the ankles, the sole of the foot, the top of the foot, and all of the toes on the right side, all of the toes on the left side. And scanning back up when you're ready from the toes, the legs, the pelvis, the hips, the lower back, middle of the back, the rib cage, shoulders and arms, and all of the head and face. And you can stay here for a little while longer. Thank you for practicing with me today. Have a lovely rest of day or rest of week.